as you probably guessed, I'm recording these on the same day in regards to the Once Upon a Christmas and Twice Upon a Christmas for Mickey. So, this one is now going to be a review of Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas, which came out in 2004. It is pretty much an entirely computer animated film. I think it was one of the first fully animated features done with like Disney, where they were doing it where it was actually like the classic characters, Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, Daisy, Pluto, Max. Well, Max isn't as old as the others, but he's still been around for a while. But he's part of the classic character lineup in regards to those. Also, Huey, Dewey, and Louie and everything, and Scrooge. Pete is not in this one, I don't believe. No, I don't think Pete's in this one at all. Like Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, this has different shorts in it that are all kind of different lessons and everything. And the first one, this one actually has 4 in it. The first one actually centers around Minnie and Daisy, which I do like different things where they explore the friendship that Minnie and Daisy have for each other and stuff like that. That they the friendship that they have with each other. I like where they explore that at times. And it's called Bells on Ice. And it's basically set up where it's like there's this skating competition going on at this local, skating rink lake type thing in the area where they live. And Minnie is getting ready to perform. And Daisy is also showing up and she's getting ready to perform. And Minnie, is the one that's performing first. And Daisy is actually quite jealous of Minnie. Or gets very angry that Minnie is competing, even though she, may not have known that Daisy was competing, or she did know, or didn't tell Daisy, or whatever. But they're not very happy with each other at the moment. And so, Minnie starts her performance and everything, and then, and I apologize if there's not as many pictures in this as I usually try to have. I couldn't really find that many really good screen caps from this one. I wish I had found more, but I just couldn't find that many very good ones, so I apologize. But I tried to grab some of them that I could that were, nice enough to use for each of the different shorts. So I apologize for that now. But so it's like Mickey, or it's Minnie and Daisy kind of going around trying to compete with each other. And Daisy has with her, she has the alligators from Fantasia as her backup skaters. And then, or wait, no, I got that mixed up. It's Minnie has the alligators, and then Daisy has the hippos from Fantasia, which I find hilarious. So it's like both of them, they each have so it was call back to the thing from Disney from a long time ago, from 50 some years ago, which I love when they do those callbacks. So, Minnie has the alligators and Daisy has the hippos, and they're doing different stunts. Minnie at one point jumps over the alligators with their mouths open and everything. And then at one point Daisy skates in between the hippos as they're spinning all around on the ice and everything. She's skating in between them and everything, showing off their skills. And there's a choir in the background that keeps ramping up the music or ramping up everything. I'm okay, give them the medal already, just because they had to coordinate this, which is just funny. And what ends up happening is, Mickey and Minnie and Daisy get very, very, angry at each other and, fighting with each other and everything. And, it was well, why are you doing this? You're supposed to be helping me. You're supposed to be my friend and everything like that. And yet you're not. And you're supposed to be supporting me, but you're not. And just, back and forth, getting very, very angry at each other. And what ends up happening is at one point, Minnie does this stunt where she the alligators lift up the hippos, because Daisy at one point jumped over all the hippos too, but Daisy, Minnie has the alligators lift the hippos up, so she jumps over them, and she's blindfolded, and she lands, and unfortunately she lands bells had gotten scattered all over the place, and she hit the bells and crashed. And that's when Daisy realizes, oh, maybe I shouldn't have been acting the way that I was. And she runs over and she apologizes to Minnie, and then they perform together, and the hippos and the alligators and Minnie and Daisy all perform together and everything, and it's just it's just very much more better than it was before, because it's it's them working together and everything. And it's like the big sign that comes with peace on earth, peace between them, will result in better peace on earth type of thing. It's like, so we get that whole moment there, and like it's just fun watching the hippos and the alligators run around. It's like I'm pretty sure they like use reference from like the footage from Fantasia, from like the cells and everything from Fantasia, to do certain things with the hippos and the alligators, like in the computer and everything, to have them still move the way that you still kind of see them move in the set in Fantasia itself. But I just love how they did that. And I don't see any ostriches though, not in this one. Maybe in a different one. But like so they're very happy and everything. Merry Christmas and everything. Like Donald and Mickey were kind of just like off to the side, like just watching like whatever was going on. It's like, I'm not interfering with this, neither am I, type of moment. And then we get to the next one, which is called Christmas Impossible. So it's a Mission Impossible type reference there. And this one centers around Huey, Dewey, and Louie again. And it is Huey, Dewey, and Louie are at Scrooge's mansion with Donald and Daisy. Of course, are all there in Duckburg and everything. So they're all just having a nice big, all ready to have like the festivities there and everything. And, so they're all happy and everything. Like they have this huge Christmas tree. And I'm just like, I don't want to own the Scrooge's mansion, but I wouldn't mind visiting it, because it's like, it's like you get like a different private jet for the every day of the week, and a mansion with its own zip code and like all this other stuff that like the triplets list off at one point. And the triplets wanted cookies, and like Scrooge didn't want to give them the cookies until after they finished their dinner, but they ate the cookies anyway. And like so Donald and Daisy didn't get to eat any, and neither did Scrooge and everything. So they got angry at the boys and everything. And like Scrooge tells the boys that it's like, even though I've done so much with my life, even though I've done so many things, and I have so much, there was one thing that I could never get. I couldn't get onto Santa's nice list, because you can't buy your way onto the nice list. And the boys are just like, well, that's just like so annoyed by that. So they're just like, so the boys hatch this harebrained scheme of like, we're gonna go to the North Pole and we're gonna put our names on the nice list. And so they basically put themselves in a box, and then they mail themselves in the box. Get mailed to the North Pole. And I'm just like, what kind of shipping company does Duckburg have? Because Duckburg and the North Pole, it went well, and they got there fine very, very quickly, because it's like Christmas Eve and they get there. And of course, Christmas magic and Disney. Yeah. Christmas magic combined with Disney, and yeah. Time is irrelevant. And like they get to the North Pole, and like they disguise themselves as elves, and like they're kind of rude to the elves a little bit, because like the elves keep asking for help, and then the boys won't help them or everything. It was like, oh, we will, but give us a minute or whatever. And like they find their way to like they find their way to the list room, and then they find out that it's locked, and then they find their way to Santa's office, and they like have to get into Santa's office to like get the key to like get into the list room. And they get while they're got the key, they're running through the toy area, and like what ends up happening is they end up knocking over like this cart of toys that are all these toys that are called a Jailbreak Bob, which have all these like fake keys that look exactly like the key that they need from Santa. And like they knock them all over the place, and then like it's just like, well, the elder letters are whatever key doesn't fit, you can have. And like they get all the Jailbreak Bobs reset, and they find the key, and they're ready to run off, and then they run into Santa, and then they take Santa gets the key from them. But in the process of like them running, they ended up causing even more problems to happen. Like more of the machines went out of whack, and everything got like knocked off the sleigh. All of it went everywhere. It was just like all over the place. Heck in a handbasket, all over Santa's workshop. Everything's falling apart. And one of the elves runs up to Santa and was like, Santa, this is so bad. It's so worse. It's so bad. It's and he's like, worse than the sleigh crash of '64. Double that. Like, oh boy, that's not good. I was like, I don't remember if like the sleigh crash of '64, is that like a reference to Rudolph that I'm not getting or something? I don't know. It's a reference to something, or if they just like made it up. But like they're like running around, and like Huey, Dewey, and Louie figure out that it was like, well, this is kind of our fault, what happened, so we should help fix everything. So they're like running around and like helping get everything like repacked, and like they're having fun at the same time. So it's like the whole concept from like Mary Poppins with a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Stitch in time saves time, everything like that. Where it's like you have fun while you're doing it, and that can help make it even better. So, like the boys are helping with that, and like they get everything all packed up the way that it's supposed to be in the workshops, all put back together the way that it's supposed to be. And what ends up happening is like, everybody's like all happy and everything, and then like, the boys run off again, and they're like, they end up walking past the list room, and then like an elf goes into the list room, and then like they trick the elf out of the list room. He's a janitor that was supposed to go in there and like I guess clean something up, and then they trick him out of there, and he like runs off. It was like, someone tossed their Christmas cookies and sporting goods. Duty calls. He's like running out of there. It's like a mop, and it was just like, have fun. And like they're looking around, and like they see, like, I love how they designed the list room, because I mean, like, there are certain things where it's like Disney's like, okay, logically, how would this type of a thing look if there is this giant list that has like the naughty and nice list all over it? How would this look? And I like how they do kind of like, logistically how they do it. And I don't think I ever found a picture for it, and I apologize. But it's like all of these rolls of paper all over the place, like all these like mechanical lifting, pulleys and everything. And you can like pick certain rolls and like look through the rolls to like see the rolls to find, scrolls of paper to find like the naughty and nice lists, and like different lists for like every single city. And like they find Duckburg, and they look over it, and like they're not on the list. I'm like, did you go through every single name on that list? Are you sure you're not on the list? And what ends up happening is like they're getting ready to like write their names on the list, and then like they stop, and they're just like, this doesn't feel right. And then they were like, I know what to do. We're gonna prove Uncle Scrooge wrong. And they write something on the list, and like then they get out of there, and then they mail themselves back to the manor in Duckburg and everything. This the Scrooge Manor at Duckburg and everything. And they get back there, Christmas morning, because why not? And they get there, and like already sitting in there, just like a package there, and like Scrooge and Donald and Daisy come down, and like, so did Santa leave you anything? No, it's for you, Uncle Scrooge. And I was like, oh. And like they open it, and it's like bagpipes, because that's what Scrooge always wanted, was bagpipes. I'm like, you couldn't have just bought bagpipes? You're Scottish and you're rich. Richer than pretty much most anybody else alive. You couldn't have bought bagpipes. Or it's like, I only deserve bagpipes if I end up on Santa's nice list. Okay, I guess that's one way of doing it. And what ends up happening is, they end up then looking behind the tree, and they find more presents, and they find a note from Santa that says, helping others, putting others first is more, proves that you are, nice and everything, makes you on the good list in my nice book and everything. So they got on the nice list as well. And, Scrooge then starts playing the, the, bagpipes, and they're not very good. He's not very good at it, and like there's like earplugs in there, and like I put the earplugs in their ears and everything, so that's just kind of funny. And like Donald's gift was a book that was called The Big Book of Manners, because he kept like not being having very good manners throughout the course of the course of the short, which was just funny. So it's it's the lesson of that story is that putting others first, helping other people, have a good time is more important than just, what you do. Doing that can still make you a good person. And, that kind of applied to like work as well, where it's just like, like I want to do well, but I want everybody else to do well too. And to a degree, if everybody else is doing well, then that's, a good thing. And, if by, via weird karma, me wanting other people to do well results in me doing well, I don't think that makes me a bad person, type of thing. Because, it's like, overall, it's still everybody doing well. Doing good and everything at work. The next one is Christmas Maximus, which is the Goofy and Max story. And it takes place like after Goof Troop, so it takes place like after, Goofy movie and Extremely Goofy movie. So it's like Max when he's off at college and everything, and he's coming back with his friend. I don't think it's his girlfriend yet, but it's his friend Mona. And they're coming to wherever it is that Goofy and Max still live. And he's like calls his dad at one point, and he's just like, okay, Dad, please just don't don't embarrass me in front of her and everything. And like we have the song, Make Me Look Good, which is, make me look good in front of Mona, make me look good in front of her, for this time frame. And, Max, and Max and Mona get there, and like Goofy is trying, and he's still being goofy, but he's still being sweet and everything, and he's just being a good dad and everything. Spoonerville is the name of the place where Goofy and Max live. I out of my head, it's been so long since I've seen anything that has that. So Spoonerville, I guess, is the name of the place. I didn't know that. But like they get, Mona and Mona and Max get there, and they're just like, oh, well, let's have a nice, Goofy is just like being very nice and sweet and everything. Like Mona and Goofy seem to be getting along fine and everything, but Max is still, of course, embarrassed by his dad. Well, when you show her, nice big frame picture of your son and, in his birthday suit, and he's a baby on a bearskin rug, that's not really going to make the son very happy. So, yeah. And, he keeps, Goofy, of course, keeps calling him Maxie. And Max is just like, no, it's just Max, Dad. It's not Maxie. It's just Max. Because it's like, I grew up and everything. And like part of what it is that Goofy had made Max like this scarf that is like very match patterned and everything like that. And at one point, like Max goes off for a walk, and he like has the scarf with him, and it's like when he has the moment where he remembers it, it's like, oh yeah, my dad just loves me, and he's just trying to help me and do what he thinks is best for me to like make me happy and like make Mona feel welcome and everything. And he goes back, and then like there's just like there everybody's happy, and then like there's just like popcorn everywhere because Goofy and popcorn don't mix, and it's just like popcorn just like coming out of the popcorn maker and like just covers everything. Like the house kind of like pops open with like all the popcorn and everything because it can. And like I was making like snow angels of popcorn on the roof, which is just funny. And then the third one is Donald's gift, or the fourth one. Fourth. So there's 5 in this one, not 4. I thought there was 5. Or I thought there was 4. There's 5. So what ends up happening? What the setup for this one is Donald, of course, just wants to be left alone, and he just wants to have his hot chocolate and sit and just relax. Pretty much everything is against him in this regard of, no, it's just, no, that's not going to happen. You're not going to get to relax. He keeps hearing, we wish you a Merry Christmas over and over and over and over again, so many different ways. He like keeps hearing it again and again and again and again, and he can't get away from it. And like Daisy and the triplets show up, and like they want to go to the mall to like see the opening of like the Christmas window at Mousie's instead of Macy's and everything. So they want to see that, and of course Donald doesn't really want to go, but like they drag him there and everything. And like Donald just wants to get like hot chocolate, and he ends up getting hot chocolate, and then he ends up kind of like getting chased around by this tune, we wish you a Merry Christmas, as he has his hot chocolate, and he ends up inside of the window for Mousie's, and he like destroys everything because it like scares him, and then he destroys everything that's in there and like ruins part of that for Christmas. And then he's feeling extremely guilty for everything that happened. And what ends up happening is Minnie or Daisy and the triplets are like getting hot chocolate finally, and like, Donald, if you just waited, you would have gotten your hot chocolate. Of course he can't wait. And he sees this choir, and they're like arguing about how to sing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas," and he's just like, "Okay, okay, no, just stop. I know this song. I've literally been hearing it all day long. I know this song. I can help you sing it." And he like conducts them into singing, and it's a very nice rendition of "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" and everything. And Daisy and the triplets see him, and they come out, and like they're kind of it fixes that relationship there and everything. Basically, and it makes that better and everything. Like everybody in the crowd sees it. Like everybody's very, very happy and everything about that. And then the last one, which is actually, I really like the Christmas Maximus one with, between Max and his dad, that relationship and everything. But this last one, Mickey's Doggone Christmas, which centers around the relationship between Mickey and Pluto, which I love. Okay, so the premise of this one is I don't know if it's supposed to be Christmas Eve or it's like several days before Christmas or whatever. It's like partway to Christmas or whatever. But Mickey is working on getting everything set up for, this big Christmas party that he's going to have. And, he's working on getting all the decorations and everything. And he just went out and bought new stuff and brought it back and everything. And what ends up happening is, at Christmas, one of the things that Pluto always gets to do is he's always the one that gets to put the star on the tree. So, of course, that's what Pluto wants to do. And he keeps looking for the star, and he eventually finds it, and he wants to put it on the tree. And via certain things and a random bowl of punch that for some reason Mickey had just like sitting out in his living room, and it's just like, you're putting up decorations. Why do you have punch sitting around and a ladder and the punch? And I just can never focus on anything besides that. And, like, the punch lands on stuff, and like everything is like all the lights get burnt out and everything, and like other stuff happens and everything. And like Mickey gets extremely angry at Pluto, and he scolds Pluto very, very harshly, and he sends him off to the doghouse. And, Pluto gets very, very sad by this and everything, and he feels rejected by his owner and everything, and he decides he's going to run away. So he, like, takes his collar off and, like, leaves it in the doghouse, and then he runs off, and he ends up jumping on a train. And the train, via logic, ends up at the North Pole. The train lands at the North Pole. No, the train ends up at the North Pole. And Pluto ends up landing in, like, he's in, like, what was in the train was, like, grain. And the grain ends up going to feed the reindeers, Donner, Blitzen, Cupid, Comet, all of them. And they get there. I don't think we see Rudolph, but we see most of the others. And they actually make a reference back to, like, the sleigh crash of, like, 64, which is just funny as well. It's just like, callback. And, they find Pluto, and, like, one of the reindeer, I don't remember which one it was, but one of the reindeer is just like, I know the perfect name for this dog. And one of the other reindeer is just like, oh dear God, help. Murray. Like, Murray Christmas. And everybody's just like, just shut up already. Just stop. You don't think. You don't have brain to mouth filter. Just go away. No, the perfect name for this dog is Pluto. I want to name a Pokemon Pluto, but I can't figure out what Pokemon to name Pluto. In regard to, like, naming it after, like, the Disney Pluto, not like the god Pluto. No. Although at some point I will have videos about, like, all these different, Pokemon that I've bred that are based off of, like, Disney characters. Because I have a Mickey, and I have a Minnie, and I have a Donald, and I have a Daisy, and I have stuff for a bunch of the different Disney princesses. But I don't have everything yet. But what ends up happening is, of course, so Pluto's at the North Pole, and then, of course, Mickey comes back to his house, and he had gone to get more decorations, and then a bunch of them got, like, destroyed and everything because reasons. And then he gets back to the house with not very many decorations left over. And, he, like, cleans up all the mess and everything in the living room. And then, he gets everything put, all the decorations up and everything. It looks very nice and tasteful because, like, Minnie is just, like, Minnie and Mickey aren't together, and, well, they're together as in, like, they're boyfriend, girlfriend, but they don't live together or anything like that. And, like, Minnie at one point had been, like, talking to Mickey on the phone, and she's like, just, you don't need to go overboard, Mickey, because you have a tendency to do that. Just, like, don't need to go overboard now. And, like, Minnie, like, Mickey, in this case, via forced to, he can't go overboard because he doesn't have a lot of Christmas decorations left, but it looks very nice. And, he goes out to the doghouse to get Pluto, to let Pluto put the star on the tree, and he's, like, apologizing and everything. And he's like, sorry that I, said what I said. I'm sorry that I scolded you and everything, and I really hope that you forgive me. And, like, Pluto's not coming out, so he goes and he looks inside, and he sees the collar, and, like, Pluto's not there, so he's just like, Pluto? And he's, like, running around trying to figure out, like, looking all over the place, trying to find Pluto, and he's not there. And he goes and he gets, like, a, lost dog posters made and everything. And he's, like, running all over the place, getting, trying to hand out posters and everything, and he's just, like, down to his last one. And he goes into, like, he sees, it's like, Mickey doesn't have a choice. So, like, he goes and he, like, waits in line, and he goes and talks to Santa. And he, like, explains to Santa what happened very quickly, and then, like, still a long version, but quickly and everything. And it's just like, I lost my dog. And, like, he gets, like, a picture with Santa with the with the poster. And it's the same character design Santa from the one that's from the Christmas Impossible of the triplets. And it's never stated whether or not these all take place at the same time or anything like that, obviously. But, Santa, has, like, the picture of it. And up at the North Pole, several of the reindeer, one of the reindeer has, like, given Pluto one of the collars that, like, allow the reindeer to fly. So Pluto can now fly. And Pluto keeps getting very, very sad and everything because he keeps seeing things that remind him of Mickey. So there's a reference to, like, well, they're not hidden Mickeys because they're very blatant Mickeys, because there's, like, literally, like, a carved wooden, like, the spirals in the wood and everything that looks like Mickey. or like clouds that look like Mickey. I'm like, are these the hidden Mickeys and you're just making fun of that concept? Or are there other hidden Mickeys throughout the movie that we don't see? I don't know. But like Pluto's very sad, and like the reindeer are trying to cheer him up and everything. And what ends up happening is Santa shows up and he's just like, well, Pluto is just missing Mickey. And like one there is, who's Pluto? Murray? Murray's Pluto? Bingo. Bingo's Pluto. Yeah, sure. Bingo is Pluto. Yes. Why are you here? What is wrong with you? Type of thing. And he and like he shows Pluto the lost dog poster picture with Mickey, and Pluto is just like, yes, yeah, I want to go back, I want to go back to Mickey and everything. He's just like, and like Santa's like, Mickey said he's sorry and everything, and like which is true. Mickey did say that he was sorry. And like Mickey had like called Minnie at one point telling her that it was like, Pluto's gone, I can't find him, I don't know where he is, I'm gonna go out and look for him. By the way, this is Mickey. And then he was like she's not gonna know it's you. And then like all the way throughout, like, well, he's out looking for Mickey or out looking for Pluto and everything. There's like this really wonky like snowplow driver like driving all over the place and everything's just causing problems for Mickey. And what ends up happening is Santa along, I think it's Donner and Blitzen are the two reindeer, but it's Mickey or Pluto is like leading them back to the house and everything, like via sleigh and everything, get them back to the house and everything. And Mickey gets back home and he's like ready to start, because the house got covered in snow because reasons, so he's trying to get back inside. And then the snowplow shows up, and then like Goofy gets out of it, and he's just like, well, that makes sense. Like Mickey is just literally like, Goofy, snowplow. Yep, nope, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense as to why everything was happening that way. Yes. And like Goofy gets out, and Minnie gets out, and like Daisy and Donald get out, and like the triplets get out, and then like Scrooge gets out and everything. And Minnie's like, well, I told everyone that Pluto went missing and everything, and we all came out to help look for him and everything. And like I think she goes, and Uncle Scrooge even bought a snowplow company. And Scrooge goes, it was marked down for the holidays. I'm like, I do like how by technicality that shows how much, not just Christmas at this point in time, but how much family means to Scrooge at this point in time. And I'm going to do in the first video that I did about Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, this one being Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas, I did make a reference to the newest rendition of DuckTales that came out like over the mid like 2015 to like 2018-19 range, which I love. And with David Tennant as Scrooge and everything, like, and of course throughout that series, of course, is Scrooge learning, of course, the value of family and everything like that. And like this version of Scrooge that's in these ones, Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas and Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas, these versions of Scrooge, obviously, like family still means so much to him and everything at that point in time for like that version of Scrooge that they have, and I love how they pull that off, and I love how it's basically like it's like my nephew's friend's dog is missing. Okay, we're gonna buy a snowplow company and we're gonna drive around and we're gonna try to find Pluto. It's like, okay, it was marked down, yeah, but still, you bought a snowplow company to go look for your nephew's friend's dog, which I love. I love that. I'm sorry, I love that. And what ends up happening is, they're like, well, we came to help you try to find Pluto, and then Pluto like plops down from the roof and like appears, and the triplets are like, we found him. And like Mickey, hugs Pluto and apologizes, puts the collar back on him, and like they get into the house and everything, and like they look around at all the nice decorations and everything, and of course Mickey helps Pluto put the star on the tree where it's supposed to be. And then of course, just like like Max is with them because like Goofy is there and everything, so it's like all of them got out of the snowplow, which I'm like, how much room was in that snowplow? How much room? Minnie, Daisy, Donald, Goofy, Scrooge, Max, Huey, Dewey, Louie. That's like, that snowplow held 9 people. Well, like 6 ducks, a mouse, and whatever Goofy and Max are. They're dogs, but you get the point. I'm like, are there that many seatbelts in it? Just like logistics has gone out the window now. But what ends up happening is, of course, it's like then they sing like another rendition of like various Christmas carols, very similar to like at the end of the first movie. At the end of the first, Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas and everything. So it's like a callback to that and everything. So I like it when they put callbacks into Disney stuff, as I stated. Of course, I love callbacks for Disney. Which is another reason why I loved, Ralph Breaks the Internet, because it's like just like they go on the internet and they go to this on my Disney, and it's just like Disney references galore. I love that. But of course, what ends up happening is, they're all singing, and everything, like it cuts out and everything, like everybody's happy and everything. And of course, the narrator is just like, everything's all back to the way it's supposed to be. Everybody's happy and everything, and everybody like learned their Christmas lessons and everything. And I don't think the narrator this time around was anyone extremely familiar. And if I apologize if they were, I just don't remember off the top of my head. I just remember that Kelsey Grammer was the one that did the first one. So that's what we have for this one. It's like succinctly got it down to about a half an hour. So I thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you have a nice rest of your day, and I hope that you have a very happy and safe holiday season, or whatever time of year you end up watching this. Bye! 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house. Oh wait, different story, but there'll still be a mouse. Put those old Christmas classics back on the shelves. We've got new tales of giving and loving and elves.